Just as you can see, and also turtles. Anyway, I'm just painting up a little, finish some more. I do have some Harkonnen Marauders to paint on. These would be Harkonnen soldiers that are specifically equipped to go out into the deep desert and guard carryalls and harvesters and whatever. A lot of them are armed with various types of uh, weaponry, including a couple of las rifles, it looks like. But I can always get to them in a minute because we already know what color they're going to be. They're going to be black. They're going to be black, and then they're going to get a highlight, and then they're going to get a wash, and then they're going to get their details, and that's going to be that. So, kind of at a weird spot right now in my Dune game because I need a lot of plastinium, but I'm not entirely sure how to even get it. I know I just did like a Kirk thing there, didn't I? I'm not entirely sure how to get it. Spock, help me out here. Yeah, Kirk was the best captain also, by the way. Like, I defy anyone to say there was a better Star Trek captain than Kirk. And if they do say it, they're wrong. What is up?
Hey.
What's wrong?
Sorry. Just can't get a very good sleep on that bed.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. My bed's that way too because my wife, she loves her water bed, right? Except it's one of those kind that's got all the tiny little like tubes of water in it. You know what
That's
I
a little
mean?
weird.
So instead of like one big water thing, it's got like tubes.
Okay then.
And I'm pretty sure the tubes on my side of the bed are like leaking or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Mine's just a very firm mattress.
Yeah, and then she yells at me because I'm always like invading her space, but it's like
I miss the recliner.
well, I mean, I did used to sleep in a recliner a lot when I was on duty, you know, because a lot of the guys, you know, they would strip down and go to bed. I would stay in my uniform and I'd just kick back on the recliner. That way, when tones went off, I'd just be like, you know what I mean?
You just get back up and it's easy.
Pop
You're
right
ready.
in, be ready to go. Where are we going? I was born a coal miner's daughter.
Yeah, well, after I make a big purchase, apparently my chair had to break.
Lived in a small cabin in Butcher Holler.
Is that how it always happens?
It is. It's the what do they call it? In the Lion King, the circle of life. What's up, crafting gamer? You crafty son of a gun, you. Yeah, you know, it's just the circle of life. You know, every time one door opens, three others close, whatever. I don't know. But, I mean, here's the good news. If you save up your money, you should be able to get yourself a new
We're trying
recliner.
to find one that's used so we can just get one pretty easily.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you can afford to buy a P90, I mean, obviously you can.
Yeah, it's just I didn't really want to spend more after getting that. It's just like
Well, you say that every time you get a gun. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I didn't want to spend any more, but you know, I had to have that K98 though.
No, the
You know,
K98's not that expensive. That was easy to get. That was like what, a couple
I
$100,
saw you posted on my Discord
a
something
few
where
hundred.
some guy's trying to sell Arisaka rifles. Was that you that posted that?
I don't think so. Was this recent?
Yeah, I think Atlantic Firearms somehow got their hands on a shit ton of surplus Arisakas,
Huh. I didn't know that.
and they're selling them like right out of the box, with all the stupid little shit that come with it, the little oil can and all that.
Well, that would be cool.
Well, then maybe you might want to go through my Discord and see if you can find the. Because I thought you posted it because I saw Arisaka and I immediately thought,
Yeah, that'd
freaking
be
rude
something I'd
ass
want.
left. He's always the one talking about Arisakas. I'm always the one telling him they're pieces of shit.
They're not bad. I'm telling you, they're not actually that bad. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, no. For if you consider how they ended up being made there toward the end.
Yeah, if you're gonna probably, say that one, yeah. Even
I
then,
mean,
they're
the fact
actually
that they
better
were
than they
being
should have
hammered
been.
in people's side yards by like unskilled labor. Just so this is the first desert piece that I've done.
Oh, that's nice. That's looking really good.
Yeah, well, I need to put some clear spray on it. I've got a couple more I'm doing, and I've actually like this one. I added some real rocks from the front yard too,
Yeah.
and
What made the Arisaka get that bad rep was literally because of the practice rifles that looked almost exactly the same. They
and
put
the
real
and the,
rounds
the
into it.
freaking Nambu.
Nambu, yeah, it's like, their handguns were not nearly as good quality as their rifles.
And on the other hand, it was guaranteed to fire. You just didn't know when. But it was going to fire at some point. You could count on that. I mean, at some point, yeah, there'll be some shooting. Oh, man. Oh, my bro got so effed over in Dune the other day. He was zoning from one area to another. And while he was in the middle of a zone, a worm ate him.
Ooh.
So, like, he saw the screen that said loading. And then when it loaded, he just saw himself in underwear and said a worm ate you. And I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny because his assault thopter and like all of his high tier gear and like everything he'd been out like harvesting for hours was in that thopter. So he lost everything. Everyone. No, that's a different one. But
Well, the company Arisaka seems to be still active, but they seem to make optics and mounts.
so scopes.
Yes.
That's cool. Well, I don't even think that you can legally own a gun in Japan.
No, not really.
I think that's why when Shiba whatever got assassinated, it was because that dude used like a homemade shotgun.
Yeah, it was a homemade shotgun.
Which is a shame. The guy who did it was a communist. Apparently, Japan has an issue with like some of their young people wanting to be communists or something.
They sometimes have that problem. Yes.
Yeah, it's like, what's wrong with these assholes? Tell them to calm down. Tell them if you want to be communist, China is right across the ocean over there. You can just catch a boat. Go see how you like that shit. And then when you come crying back, like, have you seen the meme? It's a meme, but it's not a meme, but it should be a meme. This black woman left America because she was sick and tired of racism. And she moved to Kenya. And like everyone in Kenya is treating her like the worst. Like they're being super racist towards her. And she's like whining on her Instagram or whatever about it. And of course, I'm laughing because, me and my brother had a Kenyan friend. And we know how them bastards are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they still own slaves in Kenya. So, and the problem that a lot of American blacks have when they go to Africa is they think, oh, we share a sort of kind of a skin color, so it's all going to be good, right? No, 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 that's not how it works in Africa.
You
You know
know,
what I'm saying?
no, they don't like the American blacks. They don't see them
They
as
don't see them as like anything other than slaves.
Yep.
They will always, in the minds of a lot of Africans, Black Americans will always and forever be slaves. And that is just how it is.
Yeah, some not bad prices on them right now.
Well, I mean, in Libya, you can get a adult male for about
No, I was
$100.
talking about the Arasaka.
Oh, okay. I mean, hey, we're in the middle of a conversation. You start talking about the prices.
Sorry. Yep.
I mean, honestly, Lath, you got to work
Sorry.
with me
I
here.
was I was a little distracted.
Yeah, obviously, because I'm like,
I just said that, just off the top of my head, not even thinking about.
yeah, you people these days have an attention span that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
Yep.
That was actually from Basketball, Ernest Borgnine's character. But anyway, we're in the middle of a whole conversation and you just vanish into the woods.
Sorry,
But
when you said that Atlantic Firearms, I tried to find it. Apparently,
it
I
is
couldn't find
Atlantic Farms, right?
I checked the Atlantic Firearms stuff. It doesn't seem to come up if I type it in on
It
search.
the ad looked like, how Atlantic Firearms every now and then will do a thing where they're like, hey, we got a shit ton of surplus stuff. Come buy some, I've actually bought from Atlantic Farm, and I had a really good deal, a really good experience with them.
Oh, did you hear about what CMP's doing now?
No, I don't know who CMB is.
The Civilian Marksman Program.
Oh, what do they do?
They're making their own Garands.
Yeah, in the old days, if you paid the money and you joined and you went through all the stuff, they gave you a grant.
Yeah, now they just sell
At
them.
the end of the thing, that was
You
kind of
can do all that stuff now, but they'll still sell one, but you can't get one for free.
Yeah, used to that was like the graduation thing, is you got to keep the grant.
Now it's just like they'll sell you one for a decent price.
Well, I mean, the grant is the rifle that won World War II.
Yeah, and there was so much of them they could do that, but now they're running a little low, and they're just like, we're gonna have to make our own.
You got to think for that. And I hate to be that guy that's sitting here being like, thanks, Obama.
Actually, I don't think this one's on Obama, but he did do the car thing, which was stupid.
No, South Korea apparently has millions of Garands that we gave them that they've been holding in stockpile.
Yeah.
And they wanted to give them back. And Obama was like, no.
Yeah, well, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, are you kidding?
Yeah, I would love these. These things would be fine.
What's wrong with you, man? That dude's in trouble right now anyway. I mean,
yeah, I don't think
the way they're talking on TV, he might catch a case. We'll see. But
even if he goes to court, I bet that they'll just be like, "Oh well, immunity."
Yeah,
I mean, he was president and never got impeached. I mean, really, the big thing is that he really needed to be impeached for anything to even happen, and that was never going to happen.
Well, I guess they're after him because of the Russiagate thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Man, it sucks that that's the way it is, huh?
Yep.
But yeah, because now they got proof that the whole thing was just bullshit from the
Oh yeah, everybody knew it was. Everybody literally knew it was. You'd have to be downright stupid to believe it was real.
So my brother-in-law was down, hippie as he is, and we figured out how to play Valheim together, like on the same server. And so he figured out how to invite me to his Valheim world. And so I immediately ran out in the middle of nowhere where no one was around me and built a castle. And he come running up and saw my castle. He's like, what the fuck? You know, because everywhere I went, he just had little A-frame houses everywhere. And I'm like, how have you been playing this game for 1,700 days? And all you got is A-frames and shit. It's like, what have you been doing, man? He's like, well, I never thought there was any reason to bother with the stone. I'm like, what? I said, yeah, wood construction is for peasants. That's what I told him. Like, that shit's for peasants. I don't live in wood construction. I live in stone construction.
I tried to make a tower on an island.
He got like, I guess I might have embarrassed him a little bit. Because the next thing I know, he's like building a stonecutter's bench. And he's like, you know,
time to get to making my own castles now.
Yeah, time to get to making my own castles now. We can't have, you know, the brother-in-law over here mocking and ridiculing me because, you know, I'm standing around here living in a wooden palisade. You know, it's like, what? It's like you've killed almost all the bosses. You have all the cool stuff. And you live in like the hood. It's like
live in a mud hut.
Yeah, you're living in a mud hut. You know, you're getting jumped by goblins. It's like I just really don't understand. So
yeah, I decided to restart a vintage story just to build a nice house and live in a real good place instead of digging underground and making an underground bunker.
You're like the dwarves, man.
I was on that one. Other than the, you know, on top of my house was a windmill.
You're like, I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
Diggy hole?
Diggy hole? Yeah, dig a hole. Diggy hole. Like, yeah. Dwarves will never see the blue moon rise. Dwarves don't go so high.
One thing I wish, though, is that they would stop putting these portals that spawn monsters all over my house. I know how to fix it. It's just I didn't have the time to fix it.
Yeah. See, what I do is I dig a gigantic trench. And then all of the dirt and stone that comes out of that big trench, I pile up on the inside of the trench to make a artificial hill, right? That's very tall. And then once I've got my artificial hill built, I flatten the top of it off and I build a very narrow, winding way, like with ladders to get up. And then on top of that, I build the stone walls. And so, like trolls and stuff, if they try to come and get me, I just laugh at them because they can't actually reach my house.
Fair.
And if they get caught in the big ass trench, they can't get out of it. So I just stand up on the wall and shoot the hell out of them.
Vintage story. The only way to fix my thing is I just need extra lighting. I need to light up everything.
Yeah, because like Minecraft, if it's dark, monsters spawn.
It's not just that, but these portals will sometimes, you know, pop into existence, and these portals will spawn out a lot of monsters. And also, if you stand near them long enough, it'll take you to a world filled with monsters. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Super deadly stuff too. It's not like, oh, you're just gonna have to deal with a lot of it. No, they're all super deadly too.
I was messing with the Doom Guild the other day. because I was telling him, have you ever been out in the deep desert and you've been so desperate because you're dehydrated, but you don't have any water. All you've got's the blood you've taken out of your enemies, but you haven't had time to get back to your house to like filter it yet. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, have you ever drank it? They're like, well, if I'm desperate, yeah. And I'm like, have you ever noticed that it kind of tastes good? And they're like, what is wrong with you? Like, nothing. Hungar's all like, I'm in a guild with a freaking desert vampire. Just roaming around.
You just drink blood because you got desperate? Oh,
Yeah, right?
I thought it was for fun.
Oh, you were desperate? I was just, just doing it, just hey. But yeah, you can do that, but it gives you a debuff. But I mean, having a debuff is a lot better than being dead. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Is like, because that's what happens if you get dehydrated and you just don't get any fluids, you just die. Let's see. Has the judge said on the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie, celebrities are above the law? Case closed. That's freaking. I used to love Rocky and Bullwinkle, and my favorite part of the Rocky Bullwinkle show was always Fractured Fairy Tales.
Huh.
You probably, I don't know if you remember that or not.
I know of Rocky and Bullwinkle, but I don't think I've actually really watched much of any of it. It's like I've seen a clip one time.
Yeah, it was like a cartoon that was like a. It was like a cartoon that was like a variety show. You know what I mean? So you would have the Rocky and Bullwinkle part where they were always messing around with Natasha and freaking.
I mean, no matter what, I'll still have to have a cellar just to, have food, but.
And then you would have like Aesop's Fables and Fractured Fairy Tales and the little boy in Peabody.
Sherman and Peabody.
Sherman and Peabody. So it was like the Rocky and Bullwinkle show was like a lot of shows all together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. Okay, we got someone here. So,
Holy Diver.
Hey, James, how are you today?
I am sitting here working on Harkonnen. The good news is they're going to be very easy to paint because they just wear black with subtle red highlighting sometimes.
Did somebody mention cartoons?
We were talking about how good Rocky and Bullwinkle was. And my friend Leth here, my fellow Kentuckian, he's young, so he might have seen it on YouTube or something, but he don't remember.
No, I think I've seen like a little bit of it on TV once, but I mean it was very long ago.
When I was young, Rocky and Bullwinkle was the last cartoon to come on, and then I think it was MASH.
And again, that was probably also on Boomerang, where they showed all the old cartoons like Yogi.
No. I think we're talking like when they showed cartoons on normal TV.
Boomerang was on normal TV. It was
Boomerang was extended basic cable. You had to have like the package that I never had as a kid.
No, we're talking you wake up Saturday morning and turn on like channel 44 or 9 or some shit and you watch cartoons.
I get that. I mean, that's where I remember seeing it on was Boomerang.
Right. So you had like Hanna-Barbera had like a shit ton of cartoons on,
which is where Boomerang, that was all on Boomerang.
Right.
Those things.
And then, of course, you would have the Looney Tunes,
Yeah.
Which still holds up, honestly.
Yeah, Looney Tunes, they still, for the longest time, made stuff for Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I mean, even the old stuff holds up. I mean, Who
I
doesn't
love
laugh when they see like Foghorn Leghorn grab that dog by the tail and just paddle the shit out of him? I
I
mean,
always
that's
think of rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season.
I know.
They've
I mean, that shit was just funny stuff, but
they've gone up for sale. I think Warner Brothers is thinking about selling the Looney Tunes. They're not going to sell them to Disney. They're going to sell them to some smaller media company, and I think that might be the best thing to ever happen to them if that smaller media company isn't as woke as shit. But I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not wrote on that one.
No, it's funny. I was just it's a holiday today, so I'm just down here basing my Savage Orcs and everything like that. So, and you were talking about cartoons, and it was a coincidence that the other day I had an argument with somebody about Eric from Dungeons and Dragons.
The
And
Cavalier.
everybody thought he was a piece of shit, and I said, I don't think he's a piece of crap at all. I think he was the bravest one, because whenever shit truly hit the fan, he was never not there with his shield.
Yeah, Eric was absolutely the actual hero of the show. He just complained a lot.
He just complained a lot,
because he was a rich kid, and and he was always bitching and complaining about whatever. But you're 100% right. No matter who they were fighting, he might scream cowardly like, and then jump right in the front of the shit.
I mean, he didn't have that much game, but I think by the end he was going to score Sheila. That's just my theory.
Which would have been not a bad deal. She's athletic, she's probably very flexible.
She was I'm
thinking of Diana. I'm thinking of Diana.
Diana, sorry.
Freaking redhead.
No, Diana, sorry, the acrobat.
Yeah, and I've learned my lesson about redheads, shy or otherwise.
It's funny.
That hair color denotes a warning to all men that this thing is dangerous.
Like frogs. All right. So what's going on today in the merry land of Florida?
Well, it's like 1 billion degrees.
Fair enough.
Our governor's passing crazy ass laws left, right, and center.
What are some of these crazy ass laws? You can't be anti-Semitic laws?
Oh, I hated that. But no, if somebody tries to do a protest in the middle of a highway and you run them over, they're guilty.
Well, that's how it should be.
You got to think about this. It's okay to protest, but I told my sister this. I mean, it's like once you start to damage any kind of property or you block a major roadway, it becomes a problem. You shouldn't be blocking a major roadway, especially if there's an ambulance on it.
You got to think that it is 100% and horribly illegal to hold somebody hostage.
Well, the thing with Florida is, and I learned this when I worked at the fire department, is that I don't know what the exact number is, but like every minute, millions of dollars worth of commerce go up and down our major highways, like I-75, I-95, whatever, right? So even if there's an accident and you show up in your engine and rescue, you always have to leave a lane open or frickin' highway patrol will be up your ass. And I've had them explain it to me, that you would think that their number one job is safety. No, their number one job is making sure that highway is frickin' functioning. Because like I said, billions of dollars, if you shut down 75 for an hour, people lose billions of dollars.
And then you have
they're serious about that shit.
The bullshit that happened in LA and everything. And Florida's always trying to be the opposite of California. And, it's just, you got to, Democrats I've determined are just basically adult children that want to poop in the streets. That's it. That's all they want to do. They want to poop in the streets and say, you're a racist because you believe the sun doesn't shine out of the crack of Diana's ass.
That's so funny. It's like if you want to be an adult and poop in the streets, there's this whole country you could go to.
It's called Europe.
India. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's India. Yeah,
kind of just what they do over there. You know,
you
they
know,
all
and-
earn master's degrees in some kind of doctor or lawyer thing, and they poop in the street. Okay.
Well, here's the problem. That's the untouchables. You don't bring in the untouchables. I mean, most of the Indians who like migrated like Apu, they're part of the Brahmin caste, and their system is a lot different, and people they do not comprehend the caste system of India at all.
Well, yeah, I think I remember reading somewhere that Kamala's family were part of the highest caste.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Kamala's family was worth well into the seven-figure range by the time she was in junior high school. And I mean, back then, that's quite a bit of scratch. $1 million was quite a bit of scratch. So, I mean, it's not like she was left wanting or struggled. She makes up that bullshit about busing in California. That shit didn't happen in the 70s, you liar. I hate how there's like you have what's his name, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton pretended to march with King. I think Al Sharpton was in 3rd grade when King marched. They were all too young and $1 short, but they like to pretend like they were there. They were there.
Well, the other thing is that Kamala grew up in Toronto, in like a very wealthy neighborhood outside of, I think, Toronto.
If you talk to JVC Paints, nothing good ever came out of Toronto.
I'll tell you what, if you talk to any Canadian, nothing good ever came out of
Toronto. They have Olivia Chow as their mayor, and she's always like, Toronto. She's literally from Hong Kong. She's literally a Chinese expat, and that's their mayor.
Yeah. Toronto. Yeah.
James went on a rant, and I think he got the video got pulled, according to what's his name, Crown of Command. He was watching, and then all of a sudden, like a day later, that video got pulled down by YouTube, and I think because he said something about the Toronto mayor.
Well, I know a lot of people in Canada right now are mad because their immigration policy makes ours look like sane. Hey, there's a bear and there's a George. And it's like their housing costs. Like, I was talking to Bear, who actually is unfortunate for himself, lives up there. Like dilapidated piece of shit houses you could get in America for like $100,000.
They're doing it on purpose. I have a feeling that what happened in California, like they only issued 9 building permits. They haven't rebuilt one home. They haven't allowed anybody to go back to their properties. They're doing it on purpose. They're going to squeeze you out, pay you 10% of what the property's worth, and they're going to build high rises galore for the poor, or quote unquote, the migrants that we think that we need to have so we don't lose a congressional seat or an electoral vote, which is bullshit, by the way. And Trump's okay. So one thing that Trump is working to do, he's going forward with that voter ID BS. Hopefully, knock on wood, we get it. I've been kind of just angry the way he's waffled back and forth on economic policy. My dad asked me a question: would you really sacrifice the big Cottonwood Canyon for a cheap energy? And I said, you're damn right I would, because as you drive up Big Cottonwood Canyon, if you look to your left as you're driving up east, there are just patches of coal, giant patches of coal, just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. It's just coal. And I'm sure if you dug a little deeper, you'd find silver. And you don't even have to go underground to get it.
Well, that's kind of true where I grew up. Like, it wasn't necessarily quite like that, but if you went down to the Cumberland River, which runs through Kentucky, right?
Oh, that's cool. The Cumberland River. I don't think too many people know about the Army of the Cumberland.
Right. And the Cumberland River, if you walk along the shore of it, you will find anthracite all over the place. And it's all like rubbed down smooth and round, But if you let it dry out and crack it open, throw it in a fire, guess what? It burns. Because it's just cold. I mean, I own 30 acres in eastern Kentucky. I have an abandoned coal mine on my property that they fenced. They put a big, wooden wall there. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? They had a silver mine that was abandoned not too far away from my grandpa's cabin, and they filled that up with They shot some kind of gun inside of there that filled it up with styrofoam so you could never get in. You'd be there for a long time digging out that styrofoam.
Oh, see, that's a modern thing because mine was blocked up, I guess, back in the 30s. So they just went to the front of the door and just freaking started nailing.
The problem I have is that was one spot where the water was just drinkable right out of the river, right out of the it used to have a little mouth that came out of that mine, and the water was drinkable there. But now that they closed that up, I mean, it's so funny. We don't want you getting ahead with that spring water anytime soon.
Yeah, there's a lot of places in the mountains in Kentucky where you can literally just drink water right out of a creek.
It'd certainly be safer than out of the tap.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
cool thing about the cabin
now,
where
Florida, I would never suggest just walking up to a random body of water in Florida and drinking it.
No.
Because you'll probably die.
there's probably a crocodile in there.
Well, there's always the chance of a crocodile, python, anaconda, alligator, or herpes monkey. But outside of those things, and the scariest one is the herpes monkey. You've probably heard me go off about them. You'll get Giardia, Legionnaire's disease, amoebas that'll eat your brain. Like during the summertime, the one part of the year when you would like to go swimming the most, that is the time of the year in Florida where it is the most dangerous to go swimming. Because the amoebas can get in your ear canal.
Ew.
And then they'll destroy your brain and you'll die. It's like spinal meningitis, basically. And that's what the herpes monkeys, they were brought down by like Silver Springs or some shit. And they thought, we'll put them on an island. What could go wrong, right?
So
Well,
they've got
out
monkeys in Florida now?
They've been here for 100 years.
Oh, I knew. Did you guys ever see any cobras in the wild? Was that a thing?
I've never seen any cobras. I have seen pest control pull 12-foot boa constrictors out of people's trailers. And the people didn't own that snake. It just decided to move in. You know what I mean? People were bitching because neighborhood pets just started showing up, Yeah, Legionnaire's disease sounds like an STD. It's really bad. You don't want Legionnaire's
that's
disease.
one of the worst. That affects the lungs, isn't it? Doesn't it?
Yeah, it'll eat you up. Because the water down here is all just standing hot water full of a lot of biological materials, which means bacteria, etc. But no, some idiot that owned like a amusement park imported hundreds of capuchins, put them on an island thinking, hey, they'd just stay there, but didn't realize monkeys could swim.
I did not know that.
And
I saw Planet of the Apes, and they all ran to the river. And,
yeah, they swim into the
Everglades. The apes just
right?
kind of like, well, shit, we're out.
And they have a special kind of herpes that only they got. And if they bite you, the herpes attacks the base of your spinal column.
Jesus Christ.
Which means you die. There's no cure for it.
I could never get by in Florida. Just one. I see one. What do you call it? Alligator. And I'm shooting first and asking questions later, and you're not allowed to do that apparently.
Unless you got a license. They do license them now because we went through so many years way back in the day before I even lived here where they were worried about, over hunting. So they were like, no one's allowed to kill alligators. Well, you know what? It turns out alligators, when they reproduce, they'll lay a clutch of 100+ eggs.
Oh, boy.
So it does not take them long to get the population back.
They're like pigs. Good hell.
Yeah, and we got those too. And some of them will get 400 or 500 pounds. especially the hybrids, like the wild boar that mixes with a Lancashire.
So you get one of those wild boars at about 500 pounds. I guess an alligator's not going to move it, is he?
If it's a big enough alligator, I mean, the biggest alligator they've ever documented is like 16 and a half feet.
Jesus Christ.
That thing probably weighed well over 1,000 pounds. And that's not to mention that I love talking about this weird fact. Florida is the only place on the face of the earth where crocodiles and alligators cohabit. So we're in a way worse than Australia even. Because we got, and it's like those guys at Alligator Alley, the alligators are the least of their concern. If they escape out of those tents and start getting ate up by mosquitoes, they're going to get malaria, freaking West Nile virus. I mean,
okay. Yeah, that would suck. So, I was watching a little bit of Shark Week and they were always like acting like it's this big thing when a great white shows up and all these sharks are like 11 feet long and everything like that. And I saw this Instagram reel where this dude's just like, he's fishing, he's deep sea fishing, and they have a great white shark hooked, and it's kind of a big one. He's like, God, it's got to be at least 12 feet long. He's like, hold on. They're in that seat like Quint was in. They all grab the reel. He grabs his pistol, shoots it, and it just dies immediately. And they pull it up on board. Oh God, that was so much easier than clubbing the thing to death. And I said, that's got to be the most American thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Gotcha. They got this giant shark on the hook. Like I said, it had to be about a 12-foot great white. And he's like, oh, hold on. The other two guys come, they grab it. He just gets it, clocks a Glock, shoots it once, it dies undramatically. That's probably in real life. If you had a 20-footer like in Jaws and they shot it with the M1 Garand, it would probably die.
Yeah. I mean, if you hit it in the head, yeah. I mean,
if you shot it somewhere, yeah.
Jaws did not do the sharks any favors because then people just start killing them, even though generally they don't mess.
Because
with
that's a pretty. Because I usually my hunting rifle is 30-06,
which is there's nothing in North America that will not drop.
And they even use those in Africa on safari. There's nothing on. They always say that you can drop a bull elephant with a 30-06.
Right.
It's more than you need to kill a person. Most vests.
Well, we know that because we used them in World War II.
Yeah, and most vests that what do you call it? Police wear 30. They don't stop 30-06.
No, that's a monster round.
No.
It's just 3 millimeters shorter. No, that's 308. 308 is 3 millimeters shorter than 7.62R.
What's that one?
That's the one the Mosin Nagant fires.
Yeah.
The what fires?
Mosin Nagant, the Russian bolt-action rifle from World War II.
Okay. I thought they had
308 is 7.62 by 5.1 and the 7.62 by 5.4 R.
I think the Mosin actually predates World War II also. It's like, I think
World War I. Yeah, it's a World War I. Well, so's the K98. The original K98 by Mauser was a World War I rifle.
Oh, Gewehr 98. The K98's a...
Well, the K is the Kurz, the carbine, the carabiner.
Yep.
Yeah, but we don't want to talk about World War II. We always get drawn into that.
Oh yeah, I don't want to get you guys off topic. I just basically came in.
We
to
don't
say
have
hi
a topic. I just don't like talking about World War II all the time.
Well, yeah, like I said, I just came in to say hi real quick. I'm going to probably get out of here in about 3 minutes. So I just wanted to. You're always live, and I'm like, and I always ask myself the question whenever I see you, like, does he ever sleep?
I go to bed about 9 o'clock at night and wake up about 5:30.
Fair enough.
Say that for me.
Lately, I went through a real hard period where I was completely an insomniac,
Yeah.
And I hated it because it was like you don't get to hang out with anybody when you're that way,
You get grumpy, yeah.
Yeah, it's like when somebody tries to convince you to work third shift and they're like, just think about all the time you'll have free the next day. No. That shit never works out.
Oh.
But I think being in the fire service effed up my sleep schedule for a long time. And I think I finally got it back to, because before I was a firefighter, I just worked as a plumber. So, you're up at like 5:30, drive to the job site, and it's like hot on the left, cold on the right, and poop flows downhill all day, right? And then you go home about 4:00, maybe hang out, watch TV, eat dinner, chat with the wife about her day, and then you go to bed. It's like, and it's not a bad life, honestly. I didn't think it was a bad life at all. But good afternoon to you, Off Grid. How you doing?
Recently, my sleep schedule's been try to fall asleep, do for a little bit, wake up, no stopped up, try to go to sleep, can't, try to go to sleep, finally do, wake up again, no stopped
Yeah,
up
but you
again.
got bad allergies, which is weird. You know what you need to do? You need to get some honey, local honey, and eat
But
it.
here's the thing, actually, whenever I was sleeping in a recliner, my allergies were fine. Now it's like,
That's because you
every
were
night.
sitting up and they were draining down the back of your throat.
That's a weird one. I put local honey in my coffee, and I haven't had any bad allergies. We'll see what happens in the fall.
Because local honey has the stuff that would give you allergies in it, and it helps your body become immune to it.
Yeah.
Plus, I learned from listening to some dude like 5 years ago that just as a part of a man's health, you should have like a tablespoon of honey a day.
Well, yeah.
And a bunch of shellfish whenever you can. Because you need all that stuff to help your testosterone stay up. I mean, and it just so happens I got the guy on the channel with me right now.
No, I didn't know about the allergy thing. I just knew about I just know about the oysters, the honey, the shellfish. It does put out, help your body make the vitamins that produce the testosterone.
That is one of the ways I got hooked on watching Holy Diver comment, is his men's health stuff, which does work, or at least it worked for me. I mean, I lost a bunch of weight. I feel a lot better than I ever have, like.
Oh, that's the hormone of the gods for you, man.
Cool. You know what I'm saying? And
then my stepdad will say something lame like, well, testosterone causes heart disease. I'm like, how long do I need to live, boomer? Like, am I getting to the point where I have to sacrifice my firstborn amongst my grandchildren for an extra 10 years?
So I would rather die of the heart attack than be a soy jack bitch.
Yeah.
Given the choice, you know what I'm saying? Like some low T soy jack piece of shit, or die like a man. Let's go out like a man.
I want to die like a man. I don't want people to be like, oh, well, he lost his battle with cancer. He because that, as Norm Macdonald put it, the last thing he did was lose. That's no fun. I just want them to say, hey, that old man died. Now he has to fight a battle. And when my uncle fought his battle, that was just him in a room with an IV in his arm. And he was just watching Matlock, because I bought him the set, the set for the box set of Matlock.
It is weird because, I mean, and having been in the medical field, they're always trying to figure out why you died. And it's like, well, they're 97.
They were a little bit smarter back in the 90s when the Golden Girls were on, and they'd always like, what happened to your Sophia? What happened to your friend? Oh, she passed away. Oh, how did she die? Well, Rose, she died fighting an oil rig fire off the Gulf of Mexico. Well, it's great that she was able to work all the way up until the end. She was 85. Yeah, that was it. That ended and then Rose's face would sink whenever she gets served.
Yeah, because it was like, there was a time that once you beat like 70, when you died, people weren't too curious about it. They'd be like, well,
old age.
Yeah, I mean, natural causes. He was 79 years old, and one day he just dropped over. That's just the way it happens. You got to run off grid. Okay, yeah, sauerkraut. Well, I eat a lot of sauerkraut just because my wife is Northern European, Danish. So, Sauerkraut.
Crafting gamer. I don't want an alligator anywhere near me. That shit.
Yeah, you're where you are. Like you got some dangerous animals in that region, but
I've only seen a few big cats. There was one time I was at work and I threw rocks at one because it got a little close after I came out of a trench and it ran away because I picked up like five rocks, threw them at the mountain lion and it took off running. But I ran into the truck after that, and because it went into the trees, and my friend came out of the ditch who was working. It was just the two of us, and I'm like, and he looks and he darts over to the what do you call it? Over to the behind the truck. He's like, what do we do? I don't know. We'll call security at the bottom of the gate. And we're sitting there photographing the thing, and we're not supposed to have cameras with our take pictures because we're on ATK property. And then everybody comes up to take pictures of the mountain lion.
well, the rule in Florida that anyone who lives in Florida will tell you is very simple. If there's any amount of water and you can't see the bottom of it, assume there's an alligator in it. And you'll be better off. And people always say they're more afraid of you than they are of them. Well, tell that to those people at Disney whose kid got snatched up. That gator was not afraid.
Did they save the kid, or did the kid get this? Or did
He's gone. He's done. He's over. I mean, because the thing with an alligator is they, like any dinosaur, which they are, they eat whatever is within their size range, right? So when they're little, they eat fish. And when they get bigger, they move on to turtles and whatever. And when they get about 16 feet, what do you think there is out there they can eat?
People.
Deer, pig, people. Yeah. Now, the good news is they only got to eat once a month. So, they'll grab something, they'll eat it, they'll lay, in hibernation for a month, and then you don't hear about it. But crocodiles are the same way, except crocodiles are always aggressive. Alligators won't be aggressive if they're not big enough to be, but crocodiles, they're always aggressive. They're just like they give no F's about anything, It's just something in the crocodile blood. You know what I'm saying? And we have supposedly now got some salties here that some idiot imported. And the saltwater crocodiles are like, hey, Florida's awesome. I love the Keys.
Yeah, that's another thing of the rich people who import animals like the Tiger King, and then all of a sudden Florida has an outbreak. Florida is the one state that could probably keep tigers off the endangered species list. Oh, we don't know what happened, but we're experiencing a white Siberian tiger baby boom, and they're just taking over everything. They're killing the alligators, the crocodiles.
The Tiger King thing, I found that funny because remember Screen Rant, the guy that does the pitch meetings?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, well, who am I supposed to root for? I usually yells, oh, you probably shouldn't be doing that for this. It's
well,
like, I mean, terrible in Tiger King.
To be fair, homie, if tigers were going to be an issue anywhere, it wouldn't be Florida. It'd probably be more Utah.
I don't think that there's enough for them to eat, or they would exhaust the deer pop. I mean, there is a very large mule deer population in like the 400,000 range. But, I always say to myself, there would be a lot more of these things if they figured out how to cross roads.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That's about the one thing. I mean, there isn't a day that goes by where I don't see some dead mule deer on the side of 15. Mule deer are everywhere. And, we have mountain lions. I just don't think we have enough of them, because a mountain lion will kill a deer every single day just for the fun of it. He'll kill 2 in a day if he can. So, but I don't think we have enough of them. I think we might have a mountain lion population in the 20,000 range at maximum.
Well,
and you're never going to see them.
They're solo hunters. They kind of mind their own business, except when it's time to get it on. Like they imported wolves back in the Yellowstone, and that helped everything out because they killed all the wolves there. And then they realized, holy shit, we need wolves, because now the deer are just wandering in the traffic and starving to death and shit. So they brought the wolves back, and now everything's back to normal again, But But I mean, I was just saying, climate wise, depending on the tiger, they like that cold boreal forest shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, or it could be the Bengal tiger from India or something like that, which would,
Right.
you know, I mean, you could import the Bengal tiger and they'll go after the alligators. I've seen those jaguars come out of the trees and like get the alligators out of the water. They like coax them out of the water and then they eat them.
Well, jaguars are OP. Of all the big cats, jaguars are OP as shit. They are deadly everywhere. Like land, up in trees, in the water, it don't matter. Them bastards, they just do it all.
Hey James,
I don't know.
you know a big cat that isn't actually very dangerous to humans?
Cheetahs.
Yeah, they're basically just like giant house cats.
Yeah, people keep those things as pets.
There you go. You shouldn't be allowed to do that.
They are so nuts that cheetahs in zoos, a lot of times they have to put like a golden retriever in the place with them.
Yeah.
As like a comfort dog. Because
Yes.
otherwise the freaking cheetah will just lose its shit and die. Because they're so nervous all the time. Alligator po' boy. That is some Gulf South irony right there. I've tried alligator. I didn't care for it. Some people swear by it. I was like, yeah. But I grew up eating nothing but fried potatoes and soup beans anyway. So
There we go.
I have simple tastes.
Most of what our family had mostly was just fried chicken.
Right. Well, Kentucky, man, that makes sense.
Yep.
Practically invented it up there, right?
So today is going to be a good day. I have
It was also
probably
cheap and easy to make.
Yeah,
One-
probably what? Holy.
let's see here. I'm just counting it up of things that are about to leave my table. So 30 orcs, a goblin shaman, and then 2 stands of War Master Knights are about to leave this table today.
Nice.
And then I can, once they're off, I can probably bag some shit. And then I got to paint these heroes and these Pegasus Knights. But I've got 15. Oh, 13. I have 13. What do you call it? Oh, a dwarf and a wolf rider. So there's a lot of shit about to get off this table.
Check that out.
What is that? Oh, that's a black orc, isn't it?
That is Grimgor Ironhide, who you can no longer have because the old world sucks balls.
It doesn't suck that much. I just
No, I don't know about the rules. I just don't like the fact that you can't have.
Yeah, they
can't
put
have
it in a
Carl
different
Franz
time frame,
on
and I
Deathclaw.
think the time frame is basically the same time as when Dieter Helschnick, the Doom Lord of Middenheim, was alive. Do you remember that model with the necromancer on a manticore?
Yes.
So yeah, he's still alive at this point, and so the dwarfs are just coming out of the mountains for the first time. The Skaven haven't even been discovered. This is after the Elf Wars. This is also during the Vampire Civil Wars and the Vampire Wars in the Empire. So there are no Dark Elves because they've been banished to their island and everything like that. And and the Greenskins are just kind of getting started. I think they did drop the ball because they gave you 2 really weak characters for the Greenskins. They gave you a Goblin who's actually pretty good. He's an ambusher, and he can bring on a rather sizable unit. He can easily you can put him in a unit of 20 Wolf Riders, and they can come up anywhere they want. And they get +1 to the roll. And if the enemy has ambushers, they can plus or minus their roll by 1 to see who puts down first with their ambushers.
Oh.
So he's pretty decent. It's just the fact that he's a goblin, and goblins can't kill dragons. But they did drop the ball by making a good, awesome Black Orc model. There's a Forge World Black Orc model that's really freaking cool, and he's not a named character.
Yeah, that what I showed you, that's just a 3D print. Somebody made Grimgore like the actual original metal one,
You know,
and
and
then made an STL.
here's the funny thing, is that Games Workshop's already proved that they wanted to print more of these miniatures from back in the glory days. They'd make a lot of money, and they just can't keep. I don't know. It's like they've lost the will to live or keep up with demand, because you go to the website and everything's sold out. But
Yeah, which you would think would be a good problem to have, but
no, never. That
they
require
can't seem to get their head around it.
being sold out.
It's like, hey, tell those freaking knuckleheads in Nottingham to maybe you need to hire some more people, pick up a couple more, presses and plastic injection stuff, but nope. And
No.
okay, I got a question for you. I know you said you couldn't say too long, but I have a question that you mentioned, and I'm lazy. What is the big thing going on with the Saturnine Terminators that everyone's mad about?
Oh, it's not the models themselves. It's the fact that they have. Okay, so the big thing to come out now, because I can finally say "fuck you, I was right." "Fuck you, I was right." Was they've on Whaling Games website, the biggest like EU distributor of Games Workshop products. The
Right.
Saturnine box set is already sitting there at 35% off. So there's that. But the big thing is that they come out with an edition. They didn't work off the skeleton of the old edition. They changed the rules around entirely, and they have to pre-release an FAQ for everything before you bought during the pre-order. So the big number one thing with GW right now is they have no quality control whatsoever. I don't know about you. I bought the Warhammer rule book, and then they put out an FAQ a year and a half later. Okay, that's okay. You found the holes in it, but it seems like they're reworking every single game they have 3 years in a row when it comes due, and then they're dumping it on the community like they did 10th edition.
Hmm.
And they're like, "Here, test our game, find what's wrong with it," and then by the time you're done finding all the bugs in the game, they release another one. So the other thing is, it's like they would release books. The worst one they released was the Gene Stealer Cults book for 10th edition. It got like 4 FAQs. It got one immediately after you bought it, and then they FAQ'd it again, and they FAQ'd it again, because they can't decide what they're going to do. So what they really nailed it on was in second edition was you have 18 armies, 2 different books for those 2 armies, because everybody's playing Marines for the most part. You have a Mechanicum book, you have a you have the book that I have that has the Custodes, the Sisters of Silence, and the what do you call it? The Solar Auxilia. And then there's a couple campaign supplements, and they're all really good. And if they had worked off of that system and didn't try to and said, okay, you have Marine books, and they said the Marine books that you own right now, they're going to be valid. But now they want everybody to have an arcane journal, so they removed all the flavor from the legions, and you won't have any flavor for your legions and special rules until your arcane journal comes out. Whereas
So
they
I
already had
guess
all that shit in 2 books, and every Marine faction drew from the same equipment, which streamlined it
I
entirely.
know. I'm sitting here thinking. So I guess my Codex, whatever infernalism or whatever that had all the traitor legions in it is no good anymore.
Yeah. And they really, and if you're a Blood Angels player, you got gutted. They had a lot of stuff for Blood Angels that's no longer valid anymore, and they had to come out with an FAQ to put it back into the damn game.
Why they get rid
And
of the Seraphim's Tears and shit like that?
I don't know what they got rid of. I don't know enough about Blood Angels to know, but so it's like here, the the other thing is next year they're going to be dropping a new edition of 40K, and 40K, the way that it is, isn't playable because it has too many factions. And I said one of the things that they did good for Old World is that there are only 9 factions. You can
Right.
keep up and write for 9 factions, but you can't keep up with 18. You can't have 18 factions in every single game. You also can't write enough books in the span of edition if you go over 10.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't get rid of the Dark Elves because otherwise I'll just hate you forever.
They didn't get rid of the Dark Elves. It's just that this took the time frame that they went back to was after their war. So the Dark Elves left Urathon, correct?
They left the northern province of Ulthuan and they went to Nagarond,
And they went to they had just
which is just
sailed
North
to
America on the map. Like if you've ever looked at the full Old World map, the Dark Elves rule North America and Canada, and the Lizard folk rule South America.
And the Lizard Men haven't even been discovered yet.
Right.
Neither of the Skaven. They haven't even come out. You got like Alex Jones going, I heard that there's man-sized rats in the dungeons of the Empire, in the sewers of the Empire.
Well, you don't want to say that because if they find out that you say that, then they send assassins to kill you. So they basically, what you're saying is they changed the entire 7th edition skeleton of Horus Heresy, and they made both of my Legion books worthless.
Yes.
Nice.
Typical Games Workshop shooting themselves in the foot. Whereas I mentioned back in the day when they would come out with a new edition, they worked off of the skeleton of the prior edition and your books were still valid. This started all in 2017 when 8th edition came out and it fixed a lot of shit. So okay, we're going to go in a new direction and maybe there's hope that we will get away from the codex system entirely. And we never did.
The Age of Darkness is you buy your freaking codex and it's got all the rules for all the loyalists, and then you buy the other one.
And that works. They can do it that way. They can't do it the other way. They can't do it the other way. They don't have the staff. They won't hire the staff. Like, here's what I don't get. Okay, you're struggling to keep all these freaking locations open across the globe. You have like 500 locations. Just let some of these locations go. But if you're but now they're in a death spiral. They have, so like a lot of companies, Hasbro, Bandai are guilty of this. A lot of companies allow BlackRock to buy their shares.
Yeah.
And if your valuations go below a certain level, you get sued by BlackRock by citing because you became a financial risk. Right. And so you either buy back those shares and unbuckle from BlackRock entirely. You split into 2 companies. You're going to have GW Prime. GW Prime handles 40K, Age of Sigmar. What's another big game? The Lord of the Rings. They handle Kill Team and Warcry. That's it. Then you have Specialist Games. And these will be 2 different companies and they can compete against one another. Specialist Games deals with fantasy, 30K, Blood Bowl, Necromunda, and Legionis Imperialis. And every now and then, maybe they put out a board game that's related to Battlefield Gothic or something. But every time that there's a board game, Specialist Games does it. And they said, hey, we're going to make X amount of these board games for this amount of time. Buy it while you can, but there's going to be no reprints. We're re-releasing Space Hulk. Enjoy it for 6 months. Because right now, I think me and you could both agree, somewhere right now, there are 2 people sitting down to a game of Space Hulk.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you picked up that one that came out a while back, but those Blood Angel Terminators were the freaking bomb.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't necessarily fit on the bases right, but still. And yes, Ironcaster, I don't know if the Saturnine box set came with weapons they can't even use, but I wouldn't doubt it.
So they brought back the Descent. So basically, Saturnine, brings you back further in time. They're going to Mark II. That's a mistake in and of itself that I mentioned on live stream. The Mark IIs suck. Okay, I don't give a shit about the disintegration guns, and I don't give a shit about Mark II. They should have brought in Mark IVs and Mark IIIs into that box set, and then just basically the box set they had, the Age of Darkness box set, was amazing. Use that. That would have been fine. We're going with the Age of Darkness box set, but we're giving you 2 different box set army starters. One's Mark IV, one's Mark III, and it's a different package for 1 player instead of 2. They could have done that. They didn't.
Well, for all those guys that just wanted to play their super special 40K Beaky Marine Army, then that was a great box.
Yes.
You got like
Beakers
80
are fine.
Beakies in that bitch. I mean, it was like, whatever. You can just play normal 40K, but have Beakies. Which a lot of people, I remember there were a lot of people at my comic shop that would trade for those Beaky helmets and the studded shoulder pads just because they wanted, for some reason, to field those Mark 6 guys over the Mark 9s and 10s.
I think they only went up to Mark 8.
Which one was the one that had the Darth Vader mask? The first one to come out. That
I
had
think
that
those are
kind
Mark,
of,
so it's Mark 7 and Mark 8. But I think the Mark 5s had the Darth Vader look. I don't quote
well,
me.
yeah, the Mark 5s kind of did, but they had bonded studs on their helmets and everywhere because they were just thrown together. The Mark V was the one that they call the heresy armor because it was just like they're just taking parts and throwing them together and being like, yeah, this will do. Get out there, you know. And then you have, of course, your Mark II, and then Mark III was your heavy armor. And then Mark IV, which had the weird kind of almost pointed face. It was almost like a Beaky, but it was flat with a grill.
I like the look of the Mark IV a lot, you know. So I don't know
My
what
whole
Leslie.
army's Mark III.
Yeah, my Iron Warriors are moving to Mark III, except for I got lazy, so I'm just going to hurry up and paint 10 Mark VI that I got, that I've got right now. So that'll be it there. But it's just like, here, how hard do you need to fumble the ball with every release? You saw a direction, fantasy selling, okay, but then you like in 2023, the big thing was the Skaven type box that flopped. What?
William Silva says, "Rip Hulk Hogan."
Oh, he might have died.
Ooh.
I've been seeing Instagram video after Instagram video of Hulk Hogan's been in ICU. They nipped his trachea or something while they were doing.
That's like two really famous people in a week.
Yep.
Oh man, not Hulk Hogan. Oh, Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan. Damn.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is the older you get, the more everyone you know dies. But yeah, that kind of what you're saying. Yeah, what they did makes no sense, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's like, because Horus Heresy, by and large, the original 7th edition one, whatever, was a fun game. I mean, you could build like your army full of breachers, or just try to mob the enemy with like shit tons of tactical Marines, maybe with a couple of heavies here and there. I mean, you could do so many different kind of armies with it,
Yeah.
And now they're going to change it and make.
Now they have to change it every single goddamn time. Every game has to get completely reworked. And this is the problem. They're starting to fuck over the retailers. So let's say I'm a retailer and I have, they're making you buy X amount of the starter set as a contract deal. And they're not just allowing you to order what you have pre-orders for. So, you probably, so you could end up with like some of these retailers that had these Skaven tied boxes on their shelves for years. But I mean, I think it was 2025 LVO. They were giving these boxes away as swag for showing up to LVO because the new edition of Sigmar ruined a lot of things and a lot of people dropped out. My group dropped out. There are people who still play it. Yeah. Sigmar's your thing. Go ahead. I'm not saying don't play Sigmar. I never played it. I was never convinced. I thought Games Workshop went in the wrong direction. So they went
Well, they
heavily
went from
in
a
the wrong
rank and
direction.
plank
But
to just a fantasy Space Marines. Is what they did. They're like, we're no longer going to do big unit tactics. We're just going to be Space Marines, but fantastical. And I don't care for that. Luckily, I got Oathmark.
I mean, like, what do you call it? So, like, the current rendition of 40K for me just kind of seems like we have these rules and they're all the same fucking rule that allow us to just re-roll everything, but we're going to call it something else. So, if you're Eldar, you have Miracle Dice. Oh,
Right.
no, you have Fate Dice. If you're Sisters of Battle, you have Miracle Dice. And if you're a Marine player, it's Oath of Moment. And here's the problem. So one of the things that just made me hate the game so much was the Marine unit called the Eradicators. The Eradicators are guys with super melta guns. And their rules are we re-roll to hit you, and we can make these guys hit on twos. So I get a re-roll twos to hit you, I get a re-roll to wound you, and then I get a re-roll my damage output. So I'm going to be putting like 9 to 11 wounds on your battle wagon, no matter what, every single turn. The next turn comes through, your battle wagon's gone. You're at a severe disadvantage. And it's just fucking nonsense. Nothing should ever be like that ever. Maybe one character that you buy, like you have Marneus Calgar on the field, and he allows that one unit to do that he's next to. He's 8 inches away from them, and they get all kinds of bullshit like that. But like, what the fuck do you need a reroll of a 2+ for? Like, how big is your autism that you play Space Marines and you think you should just win every single game? Oh, you just got to get better, bro. You just got to get better, bro. It's not my fault I get to re-roll everything. You're just not good enough, bro. You got to get better. You got to roll those 6s.
Painted up a few Sigmar models for playing Soulbound RPG. That's about it. Sigmar, in my particular part of Orlando, like no one plays it. No one gives a shit about it. As a matter of fact, the only game people give a shit about in my part of Orlando is 40K. That's it. You can't even find people wanting to play Horus Heresy. They're like, oh, yeah, I've got a Horus Heresy army. You want to get together this Saturday for a game? No. And there for the longest time, if you didn't have like a Castillan Knight and all the bullshit to give it command points, don't even show up. Because that was every army. Was like 1 or 2 Castellan Knights, and then all the characters that just keep generating command points. So every round, the Castellan Knight, no matter how much damage you did to it, got to fire at full effectiveness. And it, would eventually just wipe you out, because...
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it wasn't. It made me stop even giving a shit about tournaments. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
And that's another thing. Like, there are factions in 40K that shouldn't be factions anymore. The Knights need to be kicked out of the game. I mean, nobody's using flyers anymore. It was cool that you could have flyers, but nobody's using them anymore. Maybe you give Orcs the only faction with flyers because they can at least make the Taka jets work. So, if I was going to clean up the game, what I would probably...
I gotta go. I'll see you.
Bye.
I would probably get rid of flyers. Flyers would go. I would have to get rid of at least 10. I think 10 factions have got to go. So you got a book for Chaos Knights. You got a book for Knights. Those 2 can go. You can get rid of Custodes. They don't need to be. If you want to play Custodes, there's this really good game called 30K. And Custodes are broken as shit. They're the most super soldier to ever exist, and they've never been defeated, and blah blah. Nobody cares. They're gone. I'd even go as far as to get rid of Sisters, but they're one of they go back to 5th edition. Sisters had their roots in 5th edition.
Yeah, Sisters are old. I remember when they were all metal.
So I'll give them Sisters, but you get rid of like Leagues of Votann. Okay, you get rid of Mechanicum. You get rid of AdMech. You get rid of Gene Stealer cults. And this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be consolidating the books. So
Right.
so if I had a loyal, so you got the big four chaos gods, right? You've got Nurgle, Slanesh, Korn, and what's the other? I always forget the last one.
Zinch.
Zinch. We're going to put all four of those factions in a book together. They will have legionaries. They will all draw from the same equipment card, and then they will have their own personalized chapter, and that will be one book. So you've got your Primarch Demon. You've got your you're only getting 2 special units now. You've got your 2 special units. You've got your special Terminator. So they have Noise Marines. The World Eaters have the 8-bound.
What you're talking about is how it used to be.
How it used to be. So you have basically a book with 4 armies in it, and then you have Chaos Space Marines by themselves undivided. And
Yeah, because
could be
your
little
general Chaos Space Marine is a Chaos Space Marine.
Yeah.
There's
But you have
special about that guy.
You have different characters that I would disassociate away from the 4 Primarch God armies. So we'll get rid of them, and Chaos Space Marines will be their own book as usual. You go over to the good guys. Like, I don't know how many Marine factions there are right now, but there's a lot of them. And Salamanders don't need to be their own book. You know, so you go to 2 Marine codexes, so you can put Imperial Fist.
Second edition, it was just a book called Angels of Death.
Yeah.
And that was just it. It was like you had your basic Space Marine, and then you had special characters and like little special rules. But it was just a book. It was called The Angels of Death. And it had like a freaking Blood Angel chaplain on the cover getting ready to put the smackdown with a Crozius, you know? And then the Eldar book was just the Eldar book. And it had like all
what are the 3 main factions of the 4 main factions of Marines? You got Salamander, Ultramarine, Blood Angel, and is it Black Templar? We'll put Black Templar in there.
Black Templar, because basically 99% of Blood Angels are actually just Smurfs.
Okay.
With different paint jobs.
Okay, so you got 4 that you're going to put in one book. They're all going to use the same equipment. Then you have Space Wolves, Dark Angels, and then there's 2 more that I can't think of.
I think Dark Angels could go in the book. Space Wolves not, because of how different they are.
Yeah, well,
so maybe you should do it like Codex versus non-Codex.
Well, I would separate the Dark Angels from them. Put them in with the Dark Angels and Dark Angels and Space Wolves in the same book, simply for the fact that they're slightly different, and one of them has a Primarch already. But they've separated so many books and subdivided all the categories. They need to reunite the categories. They even have like different flavors of guard, and I think they're getting their own book. Okay, you don't need a Catachans book. You just need to put them all Imperial Guard. So like Orcadians. So if you basically you're looking at a guy with the same equipment, he's just got a different exterior. So you can call them whatever you want, and then you have a couple of rules for Catachans, a couple of rules for Talarans, a couple of rules for the Special Forces guys, and then you move on.
Right.
But Tyranids could be in the book with Gene Stealers, and Gene Stealers and there's a chapter where Gene Stealers get X amount of Leman Russes. There you go. You buy the guard book for that or something, or you put the Leman Russ rules in the book. But these subdivided categories, I mean, it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before they start making different tribes of orcs and putting them in a book.
Which I liked in the old days. It was like you had the orc book, and then if your tribe was Goth, you got like +1 attack, and if you were Bad Moon, you got like better equipment. If you were Snakebite, you could have like Boar Boys or some shit. I mean, it was really easy because like the real differences were the characters you could take and like some minor stat adjustment. So, but yeah,
they're on the precipice of doing that.
The Black Templars were the main faction for 3rd edition. The 3rd edition box set was Black Templars. which was weird because prior to that, it had always been, well, it was, who's Pedro Cantor's guys? Crimson Fists were on Rogue Trader. Second edition box set was Blood Angels. And then third edition was Black Templars.
And it's like,
And
if I were
that
to
box
ask you
was
right
cool.
now, do Crimson Fists need their own book? If you're
No.
Games Workshop, you're going to say yes, absolutely. They need their own book. Ooh, we need
Which
to
is
sell another
weird
book.
though, because the Crimson Fists are just an iron. What is the yellow guys?
They're just another offshoot.
It's an
of the,
Imperial Fist
Imperial
offshoot.
Fists. So you got Crimson Fist, Black Templar, you know, and so all of this subdividing is just like, okay, if they don't streamline it, there's no way you can write for the edition. There's too many rules, too much bloat in the game. And so they've
I'm gonna have to figure it out.
What?
You're gonna have to figure it out.
I need help, baby. I'm working.
Go put him in the tub.
Come on.
I'm-
So what?
So I love you.
Seriously?
Yeah, I seriously love you.
and so it's like, how long before Wargaming becomes a what do you call it? An Amazon Prime service. That's what they're trying to do with Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, the thing with
I
D
have
and D
my,
though is they've actually fired everyone that knew anything about D&D from Wizards of the Coast.
Yes.
So it's like, and
It's literally Games Workshop, Hasbro, maybe Bandai to a certain extent. 5 guys just sitting, 5 suits sit in their room thinking what we want to buy, and then they're shoving it down our throats. That's it. So
okay. Yeah, it's so weird because it's like everyone who knew how to do anything, they got rid of. And now they're getting their asses whipped by other games and stuff. And it's like, well, you know. See, the thing with 40K, the reason nothing will ever kill 40K, I think, is the lore, which they stole from everyone else. But there are a lot of people who are into 40K not because it's a good game, because it's a horrible game, but because they just love the lore. They like the look of their orcs or their space marines or whatever the hell they are.
and that's very commendable. You're talking about the collector. And in my last video, I said, if you start, and this is the problem. The big problem Games Workshop has now is they're invalidating everybody's collection. And once you start to invalidate that which has been collected, I'm the collector. That's why I got that guy from The Simpsons, the comic. They made him a super villain and everything. Once you start to invalidate everybody's collections, the whales aren't going to come back because, okay, if I have 5,000 points of orcs and nothing I have is good because, you know, it's not Beast Snaga orcs. It's not the World of Warcraft orcs that we created on the fly to get you to buy more orcs because we gave them better rules. That's a problem. And, you know, like when I left, they were talking about what's good for orcs. And this guy's like, well, you can bring the 6 kill rig list. A kill rig is $150 a push. Not to mention the time that goes into building that. To what? Win a couple of cheeky tournaments. And that will take, if I had to go and buy 5 kill rigs tomorrow, I have 1 kill rig at Sunbuilt. If I had to go and buy 5 of those tomorrow because I was going to a tournament, and then by the time I do all that work, we go in the next year, we're at the end of the edition and they're changing it. That's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, you may have remembered when they released Blood Crushers as 1 in a pack for $60, but like when you went to a tournament, I think this is like 6th edition, like every demon army had 2 demon princes with wings and a shit ton of Blood Crushers, and then
7th
maybe a
edition
few
is when
Blood
demons got their own codex away from the Hordes of Chaos book.
It was so
So the
lame.
Blood Crushers were 3 per pack, I think. They were not sold separately. The Blood Crushers were like the first plastic kit. They might have been pewter, but I think they were 3 per pack.
Well,
There
they
was-
started as pewter, but then they become plastic.
I think for demons they were plastic, and then that was
It
Matt
was so
Ward.
OP, man. They
That
were
was
just
Matt
so-
Ward wrote that book to sell, and it sold like hotcakes. Everybody had a demon army, and then Dark Elves came out, and Gav Thorpe says, "Well, I'll just write a book that can counter them." That's what he's, I can see them sitting down because it pissed off everybody. Demons pissed off everybody so bad that they got Gav Thorpe before he went to Blizzard. His 2 parting gifts were the vampire counts and the dark elves. And you could trounce demons any day of the week with vampire counts and dark elves. And that was the funny thing was because let's say you have the demons have a lot of good casters and everything. All I had to do was get the Ring of Hotek next to you. And every time you roll doubles, you miscast.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there eating miscasts left and right. And it was really good against, what do you call it? You didn't even need any wizards. You just literally needed a guy in a unit of Dark Riders who could scout out the next turn and just get behind you and just hold the
And
Ring of
stay
Hotek
there.
next to your slan behind the unit. And
Yeah.
there's nothing you could do about it. So now you can't cast magic because you're eating too many miscasts. You're blowing up too many of your Temple Guard. And then the what do you call it? The skirmishers, the ones with the crossbows and the great weapons, the man
Yeah.
players or whatever they are.
Yeah.
The shades. They could come out of the
Shades, yeah.
woodwork. They had always strikes first, and they get to re-roll to hit you with strength 6 great weapons when they're done shooting at you. So it was like a
Yeah.
good game, friend. And I won quite
Well,
a bit of tournament. I think the last 2 tournaments I attended at Storn or Dickheads, and this is how I got turned out of there for a little while. I was running Dark Elves exclusively, and
Right.
they didn't like that. And they said, well, you blah, blah, blah. You're kind of broken and OP. And I'm like, okay, that's no problem. Then it wasn't a problem anymore because we went to 8th edition. But the books still worked off of the spine of 7th edition. Everybody just got like a 2-page FAQ for their books, and that was it. They're not capable of doing that anymore. So they've got a very low quality product that sucks ass because they have to FAQ it now before the release is what they're doing with Saturnine. And that's basically the debacle. So
Well, they made me not want to be a fan anymore exactly for the reason you're saying. I guess I was a collector, even though I love playing the game on weekends.
yeah,
But
that's what
but
the
it
whole
was
game
just
is
like
about.
every time I turn around, whatever army I have is like garbage now. And I'm like, I sold my Lamenter's army and I was just like, I'm done. And then when they killed the old world and me sitting here with 6,000 points of Dark Elves, I was like, yeah, get effed, I mean, I've basically got 3 Dark Elf armies because I can play a whole Witch Elf army if I want to.
Here, I'm going to send you the link on private chat for the video. If anybody wants to watch it, I could use a few more likes on that one. If you don't know.
Yeah.
But that's basically I wrote that entire episode within about 30 minutes, and then I literally read it once, and then I was just off to the races the entire time. I think it's one of those episodes where it's an entire hour, and then you look up, it's like, wow, I have some of those episodes where I just really flow.
Yeah.
And it's one of those episodes because I like playing games, but the problem is that everything is being geared towards tournament play. Tournament play has taken over every aspect of all GW games. Which is fine. It's fine. But if you can't find avenues to play, let's say less tuned down lists, nobody's really gonna learn. It's you gotta sink or swim. It's like when you were reading job openings in the want ads with the boomer bosses. I'm like, we don't have time to train. You have to start running the moment you hit the ground. Master's degree, bachelor's degree required, master's preferred. That's become the game of 40K for the learning curve.
Yeah.
Well,
and another thing that's sad, and it happened to 40K and it happened to Fantasy there by the end too, is it makes it where no one wants to play a lore appropriate army.
No,
because they're too worried about making sure they get all of the most effective units in their list.
So I got a buddy. He likes to tool everything up to 11. Me, I like to go to about when I played in some of these tournaments, with the exception of the last one that I won with my Night Goblins, I kind of tooled up to 9. I tooled up to 9 and said that's enough. Now I'm going to be tooling up to 10 next time I bring my Night Goblins out, because I'm bringing 2 Doom Divers. And Doom Divers are really there's some of the best shooting in the game right now, because I have a stone thrower template, a 3-inch template that I get to move D3 inches deliberately, and I can land that on a character, and I can snipe your characters out with the D6 with a strength 8 rock now, basically.
Right.
Or I can make sure that I actually hit your unit and inflict harm. So next time I'm fighting Skaven, I will have, if that guy shows up to a tournament, I'll have the 2 Doom Divers in turn 1. Oh yeah, you shot me. You killed 10 guys. Hell yeah, that's awesome for you. Too bad for you. I have 8 cannon targets, 7 cannon targets between all my chaff units, 90 Night Goblins, and now I'm shooting you in your big unit of Storm Vermin with the bell turn 1. My turn 1, both templates are going on your Storm Vermin unit.
I mean, for tourneys, I get it, but my favorite was just the friendly pickups.
Yeah, and that's the problem. We've lost the ability to have
And
friendly
you
pickups.
You don't
So,
see that anymore. Like
the
my
last,
local comic shop, we used to go there like every Saturday, and whether there was a tournament or not, you knew that you could show up
yes.
and find somebody willing to play whichever.
That used to be every Friday night at store owner dickheads. Every Friday night, you just find a good pickup game. Now those pickup games are lasting 3.5 hours for 140K game because the rules are so shit.
Yeah, like my store owner was store owner awesome because I played football with him and stuff, so he was cool.
And you go into store owner's dickhead, and what is he playing right now? He's painted up a massive orc army for War Master. It looks good. And I told him, if you ever want to get rid of this army, just call me. Don't sell it on eBay. Just tell my friend Anthony, and I'll come in and I'll make you a serious offer. But I'm not looking to buy it right now. But I like the opportunity if he tires on War Master or something like that. But they're all, him and his little clique of pals are all playing War Master. They're not playing 40K. He's not playing Sigmar. They're playing War Master.
Do you know War Games Atlantic has started releasing War Master scale fantasy armies?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, the first one they've released so far is orcs. And it's like you buy the box and you get a bunch of orcs with like spears and shields or great weapons or whatever. And it's kind of like Warlord games, how they all sit on a stick, basically.
What are they called? I'm just looking real quick.
I think it's under their hordes thing, because you know how they have like the different categories? It might be under their hordes or fantasy hordes or whatever.
Classic Fantasy Battles.
That might be it.
Let's see. Oh, look at this. They're starting with dwarves and greenskins. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, hell yeah. And they're going to have dwarves next. And you got a little horde of guys here. Let's take a look at this real quick. I just want to closer. Yeah, that's cool.
Yes. So, I mean, apparently fantasy at 15 mil or whatever is.
Oh, no, it's always been popular. And, the thing, I reiterate the most, and I'm sorry to go on like a broken record, is that GW has trouble paying talent. Now, they will pay the Perry brothers because nobody's better than the Perry brothers in terms of being like the sculptors. There are sculptors out there that work for Reaper that would do. Games Workshop doesn't. Let me tell you something about British companies. They will not hire from the Commonwealth. We'll hire you to work in our stores, but we will not hire Commonwealth talent. This is, I mean, if you watch my last live stream, I look at those 2 guys from the UK who are working at Games Workshop for their YouTube channel, and it's Eddie and some other guy, and my face just sank. And I'm like, these guys, no wonder the UK is going to be the first Muslim country with nuclear capability. And it's because of these guys. And my face just literally sank when I saw both of them. I'm like, they are the most, there are beta males, and then there's what you call omega men. They were omega men. They were omega males. It was not good. So with that, I'll let you go. Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure,
anytime.
Mr. James.
Yeah, I got
Tell
stuff
your
to
brother
do
I said
too,
hello.
so.
He'll probably text me later on. But I got to get to the
The
rest of my
link
day.
is there, so if anybody wants it, they can go see your other video.
All right, I
I would
appreciate you for
suggest it,
that.
and also look up his video on why women don't play war games.
That's an oldie but a goodie. Yeah.
That is a master class on just common sense.
Well, it is. It's the same reason men don't collect purses. The only straight man I can see who collect purses, and I will give him a pass on this, might have been Prince. Prince, just for because he had too much fucking money. I don't accessorize, but there's something about a Louis Vuitton, and he's got like a room full of mannequins or some shit with the purses. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Prince gets a pass on a lot of things just because it was Prince.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you later, buddy. You have a good one.
You have a great one, and till next time.
Until next time. See you later. Okay.
And everyone else, thanks for joining. That was my bro, Holy Diver. There's Janet showing up late. He's got some really good videos about wargaming if you're into wargaming. So, and one of the guys that actually inspired me to start yapping online. So now I'm going to go in here and apologize to my wife because she had a issue and I didn't have time to jump up and help her with it. And she's probably mad.